Hello, and welcome to another episode of Imperfect Aesthetic, a place where you can learn, grow, and just be completely imperfect because that's just life sometimes. So, today on this episode, I kind of want to just talk about 3 things that I learned this year. And because I've done a lot of growth, more than I thought I could ever do in my entire lifetime. So let's get into it. So the first thing, I'm looking at my notes right now. I wrote notes. Yes, I did. So I'm looking at my notes, and the first thing I learned was I learned not to care with what people think. So if you saw the first episode, you know that I went through some pretty crazy stuff. If you haven't seen the first episode, go back and watch it, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, so I went through some pretty crazy stuff that just really weighed on me heavily and took me into a, mental spiral, I guess you can say. And I was having a lot of opinions coming from every single direction, and I really had to filter what I wanted, what choices I was going to make, not based on what other people were going to think about me. And I realized that that's something that I've dealt with my entire life. I never, it's weird because I never really thought that I cared what people thought about me. I'm like, yeah, I do what I want to do. It doesn't matter. But when it comes down to it, I found out, yeah, I really do care what people think. Like, the core of me doesn't want people to think that I'm a bad person or that I want mean things towards anybody. That's what I don't want. And that's where the core thing is. I guess, to people please. I want to people please. I want people to be happy with my performance, with my words, with my actions. And if it doesn't meet their expectations, it bothers me. Or it has bothered me more in the past, I should say. And so after everything, I just realized that my health is number one. And my healing is up there with my health. Health and healing are, just one together. And not everybody's going to like what I do. Not everybody's going to like what I say. Not everybody's going to like that I'm sharing my, what has happened in my life. Not everybody's going to appreciate my vulnerability and transparency. And that's okay, because they don't have to listen to my vulnerability and transparency. They don't have to watch my videos. They don't have to be friends with me. And if they do want to talk about me and judge me in their own little circles, I don't have to hear about it. And it doesn't matter. It should not matter to me what they think of me. It should not matter. And that's something that I learned, and that's something that I'm daily reminding myself and working towards, because in the end, as I've said many times before in my life, is they're not living my life. So I'm living my life. So it doesn't matter. And the second thing is that I gained confidence. I had none confidence before. I thought I had some, and I realized that I did not have confidence at all. I was a flashing, like, please take advantage of me, I'm a people pleaser type of person. I can't say I was like a yes person, but like I said, I would do really anything to have people, have a good, idea of who I am, and sense of the type of person that I am. And I was, I honestly, like, this is so bad. I thought I was the ugliest person in the entire world. Like, I thought I was a whole entire troll. And after going through this whole ordeal this entire year, I realized I'm not a troll. And it's not like my husband ever like made me, like degraded me or anything, or made me feel like I was ugly. And honestly, nobody even ever said that I was ugly growing up, so I don't even know where that came from. But yeah, I felt like an entire troll. I was like, no, I am just somebody was attracted to me. Like, that's not why, you know, whatever. It's not why I stayed or chose him in the first place. But yeah, like I thought I was just the most disgusting thing out there. And that's so sad to say, to think that about yourself. It's horrible. Like, where does that even come from? Because like I said, nobody's ever told me like, you're ugly. Like, nobody's ever said that before. But I had this concocted in my head that I was a troll, and it's awful. And I realized, you know, in my confidence too, that my voice and my mind, they mean something. They're important. I have a voice, I have a mind. God gave them to me, and I can speak my mind. I can use my voice, and that's okay. It doesn't need to be shut down so that somebody else can speak, or that somebody else's truth can be told, or both of our truths can be told. Or, you know, just because I want to tell my truth doesn't mean, or it doesn't mean that I can't tell my truth because of how that somebody else is going to feel about it. They can feel how they want to feel, as long as I'm telling my truth in love, respectfully, and I'm not bashing anyone, because that's not, you know, how the Lord would want me to do it. That's just not what you do. So my voice, I've been really this year learning how to use my voice. I've been using it at work. That was like my training ground. I don't know that it always went over well, but yeah, I do it at work. And, you know, now I've started this. And so my voice is going out to whoever wants to listen on these internets, and do what you want with it. Listen or not listen. You know, there's strengths, and that's okay. And I thought it was a weakness. But God gave me a voice, so I'm gonna use my voice. And and the third thing, like this year, I learned my identity. I learned that I am completely whole without anybody in my life. Or that I should be completely whole. I feel completely whole, but that I realize that the people and the things in my life do not show me who I am. I am a whole person without the add-ons. Everything else is just an add-on, and it makes my life better, but I don't need it. I found out that I'm amazing. I found out that sounds like I'm so amazing, but because I had such terrible sense of self, I realized, you know, I'm not terrible. I'm not a bad wife. I'm not a bad person out to get others, which is what I feel like was being screamed in my ear this whole entire year. Lies, just lies about myself. And I realized, no, like, you love and you care and you forgive, and you are exactly what God wants you to be. Yes, there are areas that you can grow in, but you're working toward it. You are growing, and you're trying your best at life, and that is the most that you can do. I realize that, you know, my life has purpose. It has, and I think, you know, like, oh yeah, I should know that because I'm a Christian and of course my life has purpose, but like, let me tell you, okay, this year I got 5150, y'all. Okay. I done thought I was about to lose my whole mind. And it was one of the worst experiences of my entire life. Okay. Story time, let's go into it. So I had been working and I was just feeling drained. I was like, I can't do this anymore. You know, I found out all this stuff with my marriage and everything, and I was just barely making it. And so I called the hospital because I had insurance. So I called them and I was like, yo, like, is there an inpatient program that I can go to? Because I need help. And the woman on the phone was so unhelpful, and I had been like rerouted to different numbers a bunch of times already in the process of calling them. And so when I got to this woman who was just like, oh, you need to call this number, I was like, I already called that number. And then she was just no help. So I told her, I was like, I shouldn't have said this, but I was like, fine, I'm just gonna kill myself and then we'll see what happens. And then I hung up on her, and then she called back. I didn't answer because I was done with her. And the cops came to my house, and I guess they had been knocking on the door for a while, but I was in my room, so I didn't answer. And then finally, you know, I was at the door with them, and they're like, you know, what's going on? And I just told them, and then they're like, oh, do you want help? And I said, yes, please, help. And so I was like, cool, like, I'm gonna get help. Like, I was looking crusty because I was still in my room. And so I was like, can you give me 5 minutes? Like, let me just like push my hair back, you know, whatever. And I just brought a little backpack with me or whatever. They took me out. They took me out to the cop car and they handcuffed me. And I was like, so what's like that though? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, okay. So I was handcuffed in the cop car and they took me to the hospital. And at this point, I was still like, okay, like, I'm going to get help. And then I get in there and, you know, they sit me down and they're telling me, you know, we're keeping your backpack, you know, any credit cards that you have here, take them out. Like, we're going to put them in this whatever place to keep it safe. They're like, we're taking your phone, write down any phone numbers that you have, like in case, you know, you need to call anybody from our phone here, whatever. And I was like, okay. And I had to take my shoes off. You can't have any laces. It was a whole thing, but it was so bad because they don't even help you. Like, I was literally sitting laying next to, because I was like in the area where the beds are. I was laying next to this woman. Like, it was, oh man. I was laying next to this woman who was screaming the whole time I was there. And she was screaming and she was telling the devil, she was like, don't take me now. Like, she was literally screaming to the devil. Like, she was saying, like, Satan. And I was just like, oh my gosh. It was so scary. I had a man come behind me, call me the N-word, and, like, almost attack me. Like, the cops there, they had to take him, restrain him, throw him on the bed, you know, put his hands and feet in restraints. And yeah, and so I was there. Thankfully, I didn't have to stay the whole 72 hours because I don't know that I would have made it. Honestly, I felt worse in there than before I got in. I was like, I wish I was never here. This is worse. This is what my life has come to. What has even happened? And yeah, so you're just in there You talk to one person, they ask you why you're there, they write some notes down, and then they send you to go and lay down or sit and watch TV. Like, that's it. And then finally they called me and they were like, they're like, oh, you know, someone's coming to pick you up. And I was just like, ugh, thank goodness. But at the same time, I was like, bro, like, yeah, you asked me why I'm here, but can we go a little deeper? Can we like do some processing? Can you do some therapy with me? But it's really sad. Like, the mental health system is so bad. It's so underfunded. And that's probably why they sent me home, because they're like, okay, well, we think she's going to make it. Like, cognitively, she's there. She's all there. So we need to make room in our bed, so we can't have her here. And I got sent home, but I was there for a while. I was there for a while, all day. And it sucked. It really sucked. But I got through it. But that is how, that's how low I was feeling earlier this year. Like, I had nothing. I felt like poo. I felt like everything was just ending. I felt as if I just couldn't do it anymore. And I didn't know how I was going to keep going. I didn't know how I was going to make it. And I was in such a bad place that I ended up getting 5150'd. And it's only by the grace of God that I am where I am right now, because the thoughts I was having then were not pleasant. I felt like just gloom and doom was over me. I felt as if nothing was ever going to get better. Or if it was going to take a really long time, and it has. And it felt as if I was losing everything, had lost everything. Everyone hated me. That's what I felt like. And I didn't even understand why I was losing. I felt like I was losing in life, although I didn't do anything wrong, and other people were thriving. And that just made things so hard for me, which landed me in this place of gloom and doom and having to get 5150'd. And I would say it was one of the worst experiences in my life. But it shows that, hey, you know, this happens. Like, people, it doesn't just happen to people who are, you know, screaming to the devil to not take them. Like, it happens to people like me, people who you see that look like everything's fine on the outside. Yes, you can see that they've gone through something, but it happens to people that you wouldn't think it would happen to. And it happened to me. And I think we need to, you know, take mental health more seriously and understand that it doesn't look the same for everybody. And it's okay. It's okay. It's okay that it happens to you. It's okay that, you know, you need help. Being 5150 also has a stigma. Like, it's weird to talk about. That's why I never talked about it. It has a stigma of like, you're crazy. I'm not crazy. I just was low and I needed help. Even though they didn't help me there, but I needed help. I knew I needed help. I was reaching out for the help. I was calling the hospital like, yo, put me somewhere. I need therapy every day, kind of help. And then I got put in this place. But, you know, now I'm in a better place. I feel healthier. I feel more confident. I feel more secure in myself. I know who I am, who God made me to be. I have identity in Him. And that's what really matters. So, you know, if you're going through something, just remember today is bad and the next few days may be bad, but you are strong enough to get through it. You are strong enough to get through it. And people may not see that you're struggling, but God sees it and He's with you. So that's how I'm ending it today. Stay encouraged, and I'll see you next time. Bye.